Hello, I'm Chris Thanis. I'm a KMP developer, and today we're going to continue actually finishing up the journey on how to program from the ground up. And oh yeah, I got an update on the portal. So the new delivery company, they figured they would save a little bit of money by switching over to an all electric fleet by saving on fuel costs. And they didn't prioritize the range. They didn't figure out what the range was on these new vehicles. And so the delivery driver was coming out and he ran out of battery on the way over. So he's going to reschedule it and hopefully I'll at some point have this thing closed up and off my to-do list. Okay, where are we getting into? The conclusion. Okay, so we're talking about these different programming paradigms and stuff. They're just different ways and different styles to structure and organize software, depending on the use case. Everyone has a favorite. Everyone has the thing they like because they, we get on the pink space or on that linear thing we're trying to optimize, right, for our thing. And we all have different purposes and different experiences, right, that give us the reasons. So we have to it's nuanced, right? And people these days just aren't really into nuance. So they're just they also into this whole camp thing. You have to pick a side, pick a team. Okay, please don't do that. There's no teams or picking stuff. It's just what's the tool for the job. Are you team hammer or team saw? If I'm trying to do a nail into a board, I kind of want a hammer. And if I'm trying to cut a board, I kind of want a saw. I mean, I could hack the heck out of this board with this hammer, and I guess I could bang the blade to make it a hammer if I need to use the saw as a hammer. Okay, right? This is the mindset. It's like, okay, that's the idea. It's like maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I might have to try a few things. Okay, the different paradigms are not better than worse than another, just different styles of structure the state and behavior of the software to provide a solution. Paradigms are not independent. Different paradigms can be combined together, can be combined to create a program that is easier to understand and maintain. Easy for me to say. I'm going to edit that right after this. Paradigms are not frozen and are constantly evolving as new ideas are added to the software development methods to make creating software easier and more effective. Each paradigm has its own benefits, costs, and trade-offs. I should say trade-offs. Why doesn't it say trade-offs? I should say trade-offs there. Okay, trade-offs that must be considered when choosing which paradigm is appropriate for which particular problem. And oftentimes, the best solution is the simplest one. Like people love to overcomplicate stuff, or pad their resume, or they just got back from a conference and they want to put multiple inheritance in there because I heard it's great. Paradigms are not dogma. They should not be followed blindly. She uses a guide to help structure and organize a program the easiest way to understand and to change. It might be to understand. It might be to change. It might be just we need to get something out this week and we're not going to use this thing again and it can be thrown away, right? And who cares at that point? Just make it all procedural. Who cares? Who cares? Just don't write an assembly because you're going to be there all week. Just code in the thing. You can only learn programming by actually programming. Okay, so the best way to learn programming that I found is to physically copy. Now, usually, if you want to write a book, I recommend you write the book in pencil or in pen or whatever you want to use. But you have to actually type and take the time to type in the programs as it's being shown, and you'll discover that a lot of these things people are showing you don't quite work the way they say. That's the first thing you find out. The next thing you find out is it's not real flexible in some way or shape or fashion. And you're only going to learn that is by doing it. You have to so basically it's going to take you 3 times as long as whatever you have to watch. That's why I like to watch these videos at 1.5x or 2x speed and code along with them. When I like to learn something new, because it's also the tactile. There's something about the typing that makes your brain get involved like you're actually doing it. And the more you can kind of get into the habit of your brain thinking it's doing it, it's going to start to kind of think along those lines. And if you try and just give yourself some tasks after you go through the video to kind of change some things around, even if it's just minimal. What happens if you take this out? What if you take that out? What if you change that variable over there? Or I use this keyword instead of this one? That kind of stuff. You have to. Because the problem, the solution space is a lot bigger than the problem space. It's like We can come from this way, right? You have to go down those roads a few times where your brain goes, I kind of see a pattern here. I can see how I can approach this. It's kind of been like this. Other things I've seen. That's the idea. And you have to type. And if you just watch videos, you're just wasting time. Okay, so it's very important that you try to change the code after you've copied it, right? It's not just type it in and go, oh, that works. Okay, cool. Moving on. I'm going to finish this course real quick and be a pro expert. No, you're totally missing the point. The point is that you have to kind of struggle with this stuff and mess with it and try it out and get stuck and get unstuck. Go back to the beginning, see what you missed. That's how it works. That's how we all did it. Even these master guys are just like the best ever. No, we all struggled through it. And the ones that didn't just got lucky because I got that little bit of thing that makes them a little Asperger. I got the polymorphism. I can totally understand it. Yeah, they may get the coding part, but then there's the whole the human interaction, problem solving space. These are human problems we're solving. We're using the computer to do it. If we ever get to the point we have a glass globe filled with xenon gas, we have a couple X-ray lasers, we point at it in different ways to solve the problem. Okay, we don't have that there yet, so we're still dealing with people and these digital weird computer things, but it's mostly a people thing. And the more as time goes on, these AI assistants come on, we still have to understand how it works. It'll be written more by the machine, and we just have to go back in there and make sure it's doing the right thing. That's how it's going to work. And it's going to be more, mark my words, computer science, this whole thing about these machines, we're so close to the metal. No, it's going to move into the humanities, because it's more about like, how do you metaphorize problem spaces to be implemented on a machine that humans can easily change? That's going to be a thing for sure. Okay, so doing these coding katas and challenges is cool, but like I found going through a book to be the best way to do it, to learn coding, honestly, because the stuff you're learning doesn't really change very much. There's other technologies and stuff, yeah, crazy, but Kotlin is it's what you're gonna see. Like, so I'm gonna show you the book I like about it. But okay, but before we get into that, you have to stop studying programming. You have to stop watching these videos. You have to be aware of the programming tutorial tar pit. You have to if you're going to do this thing, if you're going to watch this thing, you have to code along. And it's going to take you, yes, 2 to 3 times as long to go through the video. Sorry, but at least at the end of it, you'll have something to show because you're going to put it up on a GitHub. And you're going to learn how to do that so you can watch your progress as you go along. And if you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of videos to show you how to do that, to make a GitHub thing. You're already on the GitHub already, okay? This site is GitHub, okay? It'll show you. You can look it up. It's not hard. People make it into this big deal. It's not hard. It's just a place to store files. That's all you're looking at here. So save your projects and then you go mess with them, and then you can refer them again, because what you don't want this stuff to be ephemeral. It's part of the learning process that you feel like you're building something. You go back and see all your problems and stuff. It's really great. You can go back and look at my GitHub all the way back to like 2013. You can see what I was doing. It was garbage, and that's fine. If you only just watch, it'll be a complete waste of time, even though you think you understand. So beware. The tutorial time. He's like, I'm learning. I'm becoming a master of the language. Okay. All right, here we go. This is this guy.
You don't need to study anymore. You don't need another book, Udemy tutorial. Stop looking for the perfect programming language, Notion note-taking system. Get off Reddit,
It's obviously Kotlin, but let's keep going. Shut up. Stop.
YouTube, get off Twitter. Open up VS Code and just write. If you know how to write a function, you already know enough. You just need to sit down and write code. Don't learn, then build. Build, and you will learn from that. And when you...
That's how it works. Build, then you'll learn from that. Try and do something. And that's why I recommend this thing that gets you kind of the mindset. Go ahead. Stop talking, Chris.
Feel like you don't know enough? Build more. Why do you default to reading or watching videos? Because writing code is hard. There is no optimal path.
It's slower. It's not as, you don't get the dopamine. Like, ooh, that's a new thing. I should try that. That's going to solve my problems.
To programming. There is only hard work and long hours.
Hard work, yes. Long hours. It's better to take breaks, honestly, if we learn better. If you're trying to rush through it, I'm going to become a master in 6 months. It's like, you're going to miss a lot of stuff.
See, how I learned things was by shooting myself in the foot. I only understood.
True.
Pass by reference versus pass by value when my functions didn't return what I wanted it to.
True. This is true.
So how do I apply this? Pick a programming language and stick to it.
Kotlin. Just pick Kotlin or JavaScript. JavaScript or Kotlin. pick one or the other. I like Kotlin. If you're gonna do mobile development, iOS, Android, and web backend stuff, Kotlin. And then JavaScript, you can pick JavaScript after Kotlin. It's not that bad. It's a little bit of a mind twister about things, but it can make it look exactly the same as Kotlin. And in fact, Kotlin can compile down to JavaScript. So I'm just saying that out loud.
Figure out what you want to do. These are just tools, and then get to know your tool really well. But wait, what about, no, just pick a language, stick to it, and build with it. But while you're building, stop trying to master programming.
Yeah, exactly. This stuff is goofy.
Just pick a language, stick to it, and build with it. But while you're building, stop trying to master.
Oh yeah, I gotta say something about this. There's these people that so when I was going through the hacker rank things, I wanted to get up to speed on JavaScript and all the technology around it, and I wanted to do it fast. And I already kind of knew a bunch of stuff already, so it was really super fun. It was like going to summer camp again. Anyway, there was a guy in there who was way good. He's a master. He was a math guy. He already had his degree in math. He was the best of the class. He would pop the algorithm out. Like anything, the question thing came up, he was encyclopedic. He knew all about it. He never had he was actually making soap before this. And he was doing the hack writer because he wanted to, become a programmer and get into the business. And of all the people, I thought he'd be the first, and first with a job and everything. He never applied to any jobs. But he was a master. And I think he's went back to making soap, as far as I know. I tried to help him try to get into the business, but he never applied anywhere.
Master programming languages. I see these videos all the time. I've been in tech for nearly half a decade. I've never met a master JavaScript engineer. What does that even mean? I've worked with great
Exactly. What does that even mean?
Engineers who know their language or problem space really well, but that's it. They know it really well. They still have to Google. They still...
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't store all that stuff in my noodle. I mean, the Copilot stuff is really helping to not have to memorize all that goofy crap. But I know what I want to do and how to approach it. That's the stuff you kind of have to learn up, and you can't be told. It's a secret. It can't be told. You can only find it for yourself. It's fucked. Sorry for the language. It's Frenched up.
learn a lot of things while they're...
It's just the way it is. It's that whole thing about the secret society. It's ineffable secrets. It's because you can't know all this. You can't be told these secrets. They'll just be words. You actually have to go in there like everybody else and actually get in there and understand how it works from the ground up. That's just how it works. That's just how it is. There's no way around it. You can skirt around it for a while. You can dance around it, but you're eventually going to have to know how the bits and the wires go together on the CPU and how all the stuff's put together. And why doesn't my function call working? You're gonna have to figure it out, and it's fine. It's great. It's actually a lot of fun.
They're working. They're only so great because they've solved a bunch of problems with that language, and there's no getting around that. So stop looking for shortcuts. You don't need another hack. You don't need another video on how to get a job fast. There are no shortcuts. Just hard work with long hours.
Some people get lucky. Some people have a lot of prep. You don't know the background of all these people that go to these boot camps and stuff where they get their jobs, 2 months out or during the boot camp or whatever. You don't know their background.
Building and solving problems. Thank you for your time. I am Big Box.
Yeah, that was awesome. Definitely agree with that. So yeah, quit looking for shortcuts. The biggest problem I've seen with people trying to learn programming is they're looking for the shortcut. They want to know the fast route. And they see all these people online doing sales cycles telling them they got all the stuff that's going to make all this stuff fixed up. No, but you have to practice. So if you don't practice, just forget it. If you don't want to sit down, if you think you can just watch these videos and get it, forget it. You're not even good. You're not going to make it. Let it go. Do something else. But you only need to get about 20% down, and you can get a lot of stuff done. And there's always more to learn, right? So, okay, so programming will always be a human activity. Let's watch the end of the Wargames. Yeah, we're gonna let the AI do it all? Okay.
8! Must be caught in the loop, storing more and more power from the rest of the system.
Yeah.
9 numbers. 10, it's got the code, it's going to launch.
Let's let the AI do it. Let's let the AI take over. It'll be fine. to figure everything out.
Colonel Conley, call SAC. Get me a launch status report. Major Dave, get me the president. Yes, sir.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be great if we let that happen. Okay, so we have to. So it's always gonna be needing human guidance. All right, we've been warned so many times that it's like can't let things get over on this stuff. I'm gonna do another show about the Eliza effect and how I found out about it by accident when I was like 15. And yeah, and I'm not a proud story, but it's something that happened and made me realize, oh my God, this is bad that people actually believe these things. And we're trusting them with decisions about what things are and aren't in our reality. Okay. All right. So I have some videos here about what to do about the AI, which talks about how we can leverage these things. That's what's my talk. One of these talks for me. Another one about the web dev jobs and what they're going to look like in the future. And another one about what the proper attitude is if you're going to start to do this job. I mean, it can be really unpleasant at times. I need to get ready for it. And people are like, oh, I'm just gonna skate in here and no one's gonna have a latte, blah blah blah. It's all that stuff now. All right, let's get practical. That's enough opinion. So my favorite book on learning Kotlin is The Big Nerd's Rest. This is where I learned Kotlin for the first time. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing language. I love it. I'm gonna totally get into it. And the way this taught is really great. And this is the book right here, Kotlin's Big Nerd. And then you go over here to buy now, and it's like, oof, $90, man. I guess you can get it for $49, I guess, if you want the book. But the book plus the e-bundle, I guess you can get it for $40, all right. But if you really should not click on this. You really should not click on this link here. You should not. Clicking on this, do not click this link here. Do not go to this site here. Do not go to this site. Do not click on one of these links here. Do not look under any of these here. Click under any of these here. And do not click on this. Do not do that. That's really wrong. You should not do that. Now, I went and actually, bought the book myself, and I have my own copy, and it's really great. I recommend it, and it shows you how to get started with everything to start up your Kotlin. And I really like the style of the example because it's all like Dungeons and Dragons adventuring. So let's see here if I can show you a code example. The only thing that's wrong with this copy is it seems to be a little small, right? Now you can go in here and just copy this code and go drop it into the thing. But I recommend rather you just type along if you can. So that's how you learn that. Probably a really good resource if you want to know the Kotlin programming and really thorough deep dive. I might actually walk through this book as the next thing because it is really good actually. And here's a keynote session. On the history of computing by this guy, and it was pretty good. It's pretty darn good, actually. He goes down the road, and there it is. There's my favorite Williams tube for the RAM, and he goes into it. He shows the code and how things are put together. He goes a little more deeper dive than I have, and it's not as practical. But he brings up all the big ones. There's C and Scheme and all the HyperTalk. Yes, HyperTalk. So anyway,
anyone ever actually?
That's there we go. And here's my map of all the languages I talked about in this guide in this series. So you can see how things are mapped out and where things came from, kind of. The dashed line means it's influenced by this language, and this solid line means it is a direct derivative of it. And that, I think, is about it, right? Is it about it? I'll keep doing more stuff, I think. But give me a like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Anybody wants to learn how to programming before they learn how to program. And I'm Chris. This is How to Program from the Ground Up. And thanks for watching. Ooh.